I'd like to call this meeting of the Carpentersville Village Board to order. We have our invocator here. So, Terry, would you please call the roll first?
Trustee Burway? Here. Trustee Stevens?
Here.
Trustee Humphrey?
Here.
Trustee Savi?
Here.
Trustee Rayber? Trustee Schultz?
Here.
Trustee Ritter?
Here.
I'm sorry, President.
Trustee Rayburn will meet us. Will be in as soon as he can. He was at an event and he will be a little bit late. But we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will have an invocation from Pastor Ball.
Good evening. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just come before you today to say thank you. Lord, we acknowledge you as our sovereign God, our leader. And God, we trust you tonight you would guide us and lead us in this meeting, Lord God, that would please you. Let your will be done tonight. You know the agenda, you know the plans, you know every endeavor. God, guide us in the right direction. And Father, we just place our lives in your hands, and we thank you in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Ball. It's not listed here, but we do have one proclamation this week. It is Public Works Week, and as such, we have a proclamation acknowledging the excellent service we get from our Public Works. I've asked Trustee Schultz to read that proclamation. Pat?
A resolution paying tribute to the hardworking and dedicated employees of the Village of Carpentersville Public Works Department during Public Works Week, May 15th through the 21st. Whereas public works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to the health, safety, and well-being of the residents of Carpentersville, and whereas such facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of the public works professionals representing the Village of Carpentersville, who are responsible for operating our water and wastewater facilities, maintaining our streets, parks, sewer collection, and water distribution systems, as well as public buildings. And whereas it is in the public interest for board members and the residents of the village to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest in the needs of our Public Works Department. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Carpentersville, King County, Illinois, as follows. Section 1, it is hereby determined that it is advisable, necessary, in the interests of the Village of Carpentersville to designate the week of May 15th through the 21st, 2016, as Public Works Week, and urge all residents to join in the activities designated to pay tribute to our public works professionals. Motion was made, I'm sorry, I want to read that. Do we just want to say, it says resolution, it's not like a typical one, so usually I mention your name.
So. Oh, that's all right.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So.
Thank you, Pat. Yeah. And if you cross the bridge, which many of us do every day, you saw some really nice signs up listing the various jobs that the Public Works does for our village. Thank you, Bob, for having the signs up, and thank you for not wanting to talk tonight. No, Bob doesn't like to talk too much. So he asked if he could just have us read the proclamation and leave it at that. But thank you very much to you and all of your staff, Kevin, for all the things you do for us here in the village.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, we do have one appointment tonight. That's the swearing in of Firefighter Paramedic Brian Simpson to the rank of Lieutenant. Chief?
In 2005, Brian joined the Carpentersville Fire Department as a part-time firefighter paramedic, and in 2007 he became a career firefighter with us in Carpentersville. Brian has spent various roles, including coordinating a fire investigation program, which he's an excellent investigator. He's president of our pension board, secretary of the Foreign Fire Board, and secretary of the firefighters' local union. Brian has served most of his career in Carpentersville at Station 92, on Lake Marion Road. He is a proud father of 3 boys, Dylan, Titus, and Gabe. And Gabe will be pinning his badge on tonight. And a loving husband of his wife of 17 years to Sherry. Want to introduce you? Gabe up, please.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Illinois. The Constitution of the State of Illinois. As well as the laws and ordinances. As well as the laws and ordinances. Of the Village of Carpentersville. Of the Village of Carpentersville. And I do further swear. And I do further swear. That I will faithfully discharge. That I will faithfully discharge. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. All the duties necessary to defend. All the duties necessary to defend. Protect this community. And protect this community. From fire and other disasters. From fire and other disasters.
Well, Lieutenant Simpson, we certainly appreciate your willingness to take a leadership position to continue the excellent service that we have come to expect from our fire department in all matters. So thank you again for your willingness to serve.
Congratulations.
All right, Terry, do we have any public commenters this evening? No commenters. All right. Well, normally we take a break at this time because we know a lot of you are here just for the lieutenant. So if you want to take a couple minutes and leave, we'll suspend the meeting for a couple minutes at this point. Or you're welcome to stay. But I'm going to guess that some of you will want to leave. If you would, please continue outside because we need to continue the meeting. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Next item is the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of those items unless trustee so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Any items to be removed?
I'll motion to pass the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion Paul, second Jeff. Terry, please call the roll.
Trustee Stevens?
Yes.
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Burway?
Yes.
And even though we pass these over without discussion, there are some very important items on there, including almost $600,000 worth of road work that we will be doing next year. Or no, this summer. Excuse me. Every year we try to keep up on our road work and not fall behind like had been the sort of the pattern many years ago.
Including Keeley Farms. That's in,
Yeah, the whole Keeley Farm subdivision is going to get redone, and number of other streets, which are always available on the website if you want to look up what streets are going to be paved. That's always information that's there. All right, the next thing would be reports of manager, officers, commissions, and staff. Mark?
We did the tribute to Public Works already, and I was going to make Bob speak, so I'm glad you got him out of it. So there'll be no other report for tonight.
Okay, then we would go to commissions. Don, anything from?
The next meeting for Quadcom Jets is on the 25th of May, and I will be there. I thought I was going to be out of town, but I will be able to attend that.
That's good, because I can't, and I wouldn't have been. I'm your backup, so.
Jelkes Creek, we just had a Jelkes Creek Fox River Watershed Coalition, just had a meeting on the 9th, and went over a bunch of things. Just a little point of fact that there's 25 watersheds along the Fox River, just in this section down through Elgin. They're all different types of watershed organizations, some really active, some not so active. So there's we've been working on these signs for the watershed, and I was ready to go to press with them and have Bob print them off, and thank you for all your attention on this. But they came back to me and said, whoa, wait a minute, we want to have consistent signs for all the 25 different watersheds. And that would be done by the county. And I got another message saying, well, we can go ahead. So I'm just holding up right now on what signs we can print up. The county might do it. So that's where we are, kind of in limbo with that. But I would have liked to have seen this project come to an end, so we could get our name out there and everything like that, to have people aware of how we can affect the water quality in our communities. So, anyways, that's all I have on that right now.
We'll have a Business Development Commission meeting next Tuesday at 6:30 upstairs on the second floor. We'll continue to talk about the rebranding effort and some of the recent sale of the Dominic's property, and probably some other items that are important to moving forward with that commission.
Say
That's on the
6:30?
24th, right?
Yeah, 6:30. Is that okay, Mark? 6:30?
Pat?
Got a little bit here. Parks Committee meeting, we had just had it on May 9th. We kind of did a recap. I know I'd reported it here with regards to Arbor Day, and it was pretty well received for the kids. We talked about Keith Andre's cleanup, and then we went through some of the list for the approved community suggestions using the community enhancement rather. So we need to probably bring those here to the board when we can. And I want to say thank you to those that submitted suggestions. Also, we touched briefly on a potential planting project where we would just be involved just with the planting. Jerry Hoffman School on Lake Marion has a lot of gardens that they're segmenting off, looking for volunteers and sponsors. They're going to work on getting the plants, and we thought maybe as a committee, maybe we go and help, and more appropriate because that's their theme, and we have a butterfly program. They'd like a nice butterfly garden at the entrance of the doorway, either when you walk up. They're going to have a little park bench there and everything. So the committee seemed like they were on board with it. We may not do it till the fall, depending on when they can get the plants donated, that kind of thing. But seemed like a nice little project for the Parks Committee to take on. And then I wanted to mention, too, the butterfly program, Monarch Butterfly Program, has been started here in the village. We have seed packets down at Public Works. You're welcome to go pick up a couple packets, and hopefully, I think we've done some nice inroads. I know I've been reading up and across the country. it's just really gained a lot of speed. So we need to make sure that that keeps going here. Our next meeting for Parks is June 14th. Public Works at 6:30. So then special events. Tomorrow night we're meeting over at Public Works, and I can kind of tell you right now we've got a number of things going on. So let me see if I can start here. So Ginger, did you want to mention the yard sale?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. In your trustee report, or? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then we've got June 16th. We'll have the high school bands this past Saturday, and I'll give it in my trustee report. They had the middle school bands that were playing. Unfortunately, due to the weather, we had to move it into CMS, but it really turned out to be a nice event. And so now on the 16th in Carpenter Park, it'll be, I think, around 5 o'clock or so. The high school bands will be there, both the orchestra and the jazz band. So I encourage everybody to come out. It's free. I hope the weather's nice. And, it's just nice to hear the middle school kids were wonderful. So I'm hoping, I'm sure the high school bands will be phenomenal. Also then, we've got June 3rd is the first Movies in the Park. That's Inside Out. And I know it starts at 8:20 as it gets to be a little darker, and they'll have games and food and that beforehand for anybody that wants to come early. Then we've got May 28th. I just was given this. This is a kids' bike rodeo at the Moose Lodge, It's sponsored by the Moose, the Firefighters Union, and the Police Department. That's again on the 28th, and it's 11 to 2. This event is also free, and they'll have a lot of hands-on bike riding, and there'll be some safety courses, some bike tune-up, helmet fits, rules of the road, and other safety tips. So, and with having both our police and fire department there, they'll be able to explain some of those bike safety rules and that. So, looks like it'll be fun, and I'm sure it will be at the Moose. Then on the 29th, we have the Spring Bike Jam. I'll hold it up. This is at Andres Park, and this is on a Sunday. It's 11 to 5, sponsored by Camber, our mountain bike group that's here, and Red Bull. They're also participating, and they are going to have, it says up here, there'll be the flow lines, jumps, there'll be food, music, and the Red Bull fire truck will be there, and it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. They have had a lot of response to this, and they're expecting a nice crowd to come this year. So I'm glad for them. Lots of things going on down at Keith Andrews Park. Then let's see. Trying to see if I missed anything. Excuse me here. The Civil War event, that's coming along. That's still the first weekend in August. I think we'll have our food vendors finally confirmed, and we'll have to start working on marketing. I did reach out to Spring Hill Mall. Details maybe later if that's something we can do. But I did want to mention that I spoke to Molly Foote there, who sang praises of our Public Works Department and their involvement in the past Touch a Truck event. So she was very, very appreciative and spoke highly of you guys. And just a little something, to piggyback on the Civil War, we'll keep talking about that as it's coming up, but I think I let the trustees know the Drama Club has agreed, Dundee Crown, to come and do skits on Saturday and Sunday, so I want to make sure all the parents know. School is out. They put it out there, and they had 20 kids that signed up for it. And so they want to do some skits from the play that Lincoln saw when he was assassinated, Our American Cousin, and the barbecue scene from Gone with the Wind, which should be really neat. So they're going to be scheduling their rehearsals and start working on it. So it's going to be another really nice addition for that event that's coming up. So, and that, I think, concludes my committee reports, President Ritter.
Okay. Take care of all of our committees. We have no old business today. Under new business, one item, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with Walmart Real Estate Business Trust concerning Ball Avenue. I'd need a motion.
I'll motion to pass this.
I'll second.
Motion Paul, second Pat. Mark?
I'd like to recognize Attorney Passman's work. He can brief the board and summarize for the public all the work the engineering staff and collectively represent community development, engineering, and administration, and of course the law.
Thank you, Manager Rooney. Thank you, President Ritter, members of the board. This item, it's one we mentioned would be coming forward to you tonight. As the board knows, the Walmart development and the Walmart Platte subdivision included the platting of an extension of Ball Avenue to go straight through from Route 25 to Biesinger Drive. Walmart has, as part of its development, constructed improvements over a portion of the right-of-way. Originally, the westernmost portion, about the western third, was not going to be improved at this time. However, over the last several months, in working with Walmart and the Biesinger Family Trust, which owns the rest of the block, I believe, or most of the rest of the block, the three parties agreed as part of the overall development for that area to proceed now with the construction of Ball Avenue all the way through. At your last meeting, you approved a license agreement with the trust to maintain certain improvements within the Ball Avenue right-of-way. In that agreement, the village committed to constructing the western portion of Ball Avenue within the next year. Walmart has its own agreement with the Biesinger Trust to make those same improvements. The MOU that's before you tonight represents the cooperation of Walmart and the village, each of which has the obligation to construct the road to determine their respective rights and responsibilities in doing so. So that is what the MOU does. It provides that the village will take the lead role in providing for the construction. Walmart will share its cooperation. And it's a pretty straightforward document. Happy to answer any questions. But if this document is approved tonight, it will cement the relationship, and all three parties will be in various agreements that will all relate to the construction of that road.
And the key there is we do not have to modify the TIF arrangement or the development agreement with Walmart.
No, those because a year ago when you approved a year and a half ago when you approved the development agreement, the construction of the western portion was not contemplated. So this is an additional agreement, but it does not affect the prior arrangements that were agreed to in November 2014.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Paul?
Regarding use of TIF funds, we'll be using it just for infrastructure only on this project. I'll defer to
Yes, it's the construction and the improvements of the road, which are some landscaping.
Okay, so that'll be permanent. We'll have Ball Avenue back. I think at one time it was here, and I don't know if it'll be the same configuration as it was many moons ago, but we will have it back.
Yep. Connectivity between Route 25 through the development back to Biesinger Drive.
And they'll connect the Walmart parking lot to that street so people can get in and out. And perfect. Correct.
Any other questions?
But thank you, Hart. Really appreciate it.
Terry, you want to call the roll, please?
Trustee Humper?
Yes.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Burroway?
Aye.
Trustee Stevens?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that takes care of almost all of our business. Now we just have trustee reports. We'll start with Paul this evening.
I did want to mention, I think we're going to move the Audit and Finance Commission meeting from June 28th to June 14th. I believe that's the date we settled on.
The second Tuesday of the
It'll be
month.
the second Tuesday, right? And then,
Permanently, Paul, or
Because
no, just because
just that one
it
conflict?
overlaps.
Oh,
They
okay.
set the schedule by ordinance,
Okay.
and it happens to fall on the same night as the Business Development Commission.
Okay, so it's a one-time
So,
thing?
just
Okay.
a one-time thing.
Gotcha.
So, well, at least for now. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what'll happen for the rest of the year.
You're speaking on audit and finance? Or?
Audit and finance, yes.
Paul's,
Oh, I
Paul's
thought you said
stepping in.
BDC.
No, BDC, they were on the same night on the 28th of June, so they moved the Audit
He's
and
speaking
Finance
for
Commission.
Kevin.
Kevin's not here, so that's-
Okay.
just wanted to make sure people knew.
Well, doesn't matter which one is on the 14th. I won't be there.
We
I'll
received an
be in the
email.
hospital getting my knee replaced, so not a good date for me at all. But that's here nor there. Anything else?
That's it, that's all I had.
You'll be there in spirit, though. Right?
Yeah, in spirit. Maybe I'll. Yeah. Hopefully, I will be. Yeah. Yep. Any Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. First of all, I wanted to congratulate Officer Straub and say thank you to the Chief for that email he sent out about Officer Straub helping a lady cross the street in the rain over by Auto, and we received an email saying thanking him, and that's just great to see that our officers are obviously always looking out for our citizens. Second, Slide the City tickets are on sale, and everybody I'm talking to about it is really excited. There was a lot of people at first thinking the price was $40. Well, you can buy early tickets for $15 for 2 rides, or $20 for a whole block of rides, or there is like a $40 thing that's like an all-day pass, and everything comes with a shirt and a tube and mouth guards, which my daughter's like, why do I need a mouth guard? I'm like, well, it's a pretty big hill. But those tickets are on sale, and you can find that on the Facebook page. The link is on there, or if you just go to slidethecity/Carpentersville. And last, I spoke with a resident the other day who was talking about some noise complaints in our neighborhood, and she was, people all the time say, I don't want to call 911, but they're supposed to call 911, correct, Chief?
Yes.
Yeah, and Quadcom is set up for that. They are expecting it. Call 911. You do not have to give your name. You don't have to say who you are if you're afraid of reprisal from a neighbor or something. But if you're having a problem and you have a complaint, call 911. That's what they're there for, and they will direct the officers as needed. So, thank you.
And you can use your cell phone now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And text it, that's right.
Edit? Pat?
I wanted to mention again, on Saturday, we had the kickoff, the Rotary Club sponsored, for the middle school bands. They had a dunk tank scheduled, but it was a little cool, so that got canceled at the last minute. We went down the road to CMS, and it was really, really nice, and there were a lot of people there. I kind of convinced Pastor Ball to bring the popcorn machine. He brought a coffee, and so he did a really nice job. And all of that money goes to their youth group for field trips during the summer. Then the Rotary Club was giving out ice pops. They had the Jerry Hoffman School was there with games. The library was there. We had animal rescue group that was there that had 3 really great dogs. One that just is kind of, I know we are working on, the ordinance with the dogs, but here was this big dog they named Tank that was kind of pit bullish that spent the majority of the night on its back dying for anybody to give it a belly rub. It was just like, this was not a vicious dog by any means. I hope that that dog gets adopted. And Officer Pilarski was there, and for the Special Olympics, and it turned out to be really nice. Kids did some great jazz classics. All of the different schools came. Dundee Middle School came, and they had 2 young kids that sang with a 3-piece ensemble that were really, really well received. So, and I wanted to just give a shout out to Mike Casper, the CMS band director, who, no prompting from me, but announced to everybody that Carpentersville has a lot of wonderful events coming up this summer, and encouraged everybody to go on the website. So that was very nice. It was really, really a nice event. And then I wanted to mention, if I could, I met with Pastor Ball again, and Tina, the property manager, and Officer Pilarski again at Foxview. We have some concerned residents there that there are some issues down there, and Chief Kilborn and Manager Rooney, they've been working on it, and it was a nice group of ladies, and I have to say, Officer Pilarski is a good fit down there. They just joked with him. He joked right back. So, and it was just really a nice meeting. I'm going to go again, and they've got a lot of kids down there that are looking and need something to do. So it's kind of an interesting situation, but I did want to mention that Pastor Ball will be holding a summer kickoff event on June 10th at 5:30 in that field that's there by the entryway. They'll have a lot of games for the kids and food, And so they all were looking forward to it. And on the 2nd, I'll mention this at another time too, he's having another event that's sort of a kind of an uplift for the youth program. So it was a good meeting, one of the largest ones he said, Pastor Ball said they had in a while, and he's hoping that they will continue to be concerned and participate in their community. I also met with a group he told me about, the Wise Women of the Faith Walk Church. This was a fun group. These are some older ladies who are retired who are looking for something to do. So I got kids on this side and I got older adults on this side. We need something to do, Pat. And I'm thinking, okay, so I took some volunteer opportunities, printed them out from the Jerry Hoffman School, and took it down to the ladies. They were really happy. I'm going to be calling the senior center for them and kind of work with them. I told them, come on down to the yard sale and, put a little sign up there, and maybe they'll get a few more people to join. But it was fun. It was fun to meet with them. It was a good week all around, so to see the different areas in town. And I want to say congratulations again to Lieutenant Simpson, and congratulations to our Public Works Department for the great job that they do. And during Public Works Week, the banners are awesome on the bridge. So thank you very much. And that concludes my report.
One thing I failed to mention with the Jelkies Creek Watershed Coalition was that we're working on a newsletter that will be coming out. Again, it's a slow process, and hopefully Carpenter Creek, the restructuring of Carpenter Creek will be in there with some pictures that I had taken and sent to the person that's doing the newsletter. So that'll be nice to have a little feature in there about it. And when I get a copy, I'll bring it and show everybody. Other than that, congratulations to Lieutenant Simpson now, so that's good. It's kind of exciting to see a new lieutenant come on board. Congratulations, like Pat said, to the Public Works. You guys are great. I really appreciate all you do for this community. Everybody's involved, and it's really, you guys do a great job. Please pass that on to the workers. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ginger?
I will reiterate what he just said about Public Works. The first thing that came to my mind was when it's 20 below zero outside and you have no water. Those are the guys that are out there doing all the hard work, freezing, and to fix your water problems so that you can have water, running water. And
not here.
so big thank you to your guys.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to talk about the community yard sale, pushing for more registrations. We have a few, and I realize that people wait till the last minute to find out what the weather's going to be, but it's going to be beautiful, no rain, 75 to 85 I hear, nice breeze. So register. You can go online, go onto the Carpentersville website, or you can send an email to Bob Cole, and it's, I'm going to read the email address, so bear with me here. It's bcole, C-O-L-E, at vil.carpentersville.il.us. And he will in turn send you a registration form to complete. Then you can bring your money, your $10 fee, and go right across the hall here. Public Works is picking, okay. Take your money down to Public Works, and we'll see you June 11th. Time is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can start setting up, I believe we said 7 a.m. 7 a.m. setup time. We will allow you to park on the grass to unload your car, and then you need to, we'll have parking instructions there. And once you're ready to load up again, you can drive your car back on and load up, or you can leave it there. And we have a truck, donation truck that's going to be there between 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon to pick up all the stuff you don't want to pack up and take home. So a good time. This is our third annual, so we're really looking forward to it. So see you there.
It's really a nice event. It really is fun.
It's fun. There'll be food.
We got a face
We've got a
painter.
face painter.
Kids. Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Who's going to show up?
And if I could add one thing real quick, too. By the way, and special thanks to Bob Cole. I called him the other day because there was a giant dead possum in the street in our neighborhood. And I'm like, who do we call? And he's like, you call me. And it was gone, like, within the next 10 minutes. So,
Reminds me, I got one for you.
my daughter wants to know what you did with it. I'll have to talk to you later. So.
Possum stew, right?
Well, we're having an event tomorrow for Public Works Week.
Oh, that's right. Excellent.
Well,
It was a big
just sitting
Like
here,
chicken, right?
just sitting here listening to all this kind of proves my saying, don't blink or you'll miss something good happening in Carpentersville. There's just stuff going on all the time here. It's going to be a great summer between the park. Well, I can't say the park anymore. It's between the parks because Keith Andres is now starting to add events. I have a little announcement, a don't blink moment here in a minute when I get into my stuff, but it just, every time you turn around, there's something good going on in this town. People need to realize that this is a town on the move, on the way up, moving forward all the time. Just like paving streets. Everybody takes that for granted. Carpentersville is on top of its streets and keeping them the way they should be. And that's just a good part of our community. Our community garden, did we have to add more gardens this year? Did our numbers go up? No, just stayed about the same. But they're pretty filled up. That's a good thing. I'm a member of the Kane County Improvement Impact Fee Advisory Committee. It's a long name, but it's one of the steps in creating the impact fees for the county. And so we had a meeting last week, and one interesting thing came out of that meeting. They gave us a chart on the 2040 plan of employment by township in Kane County. And the biggest gain in employment was Aurora Township, or projected as 25,000. Second, Dundee Township, 23,000. Almost as many jobs will come to Dundee Township as will come to Aurora. And Elgin Township was only 15,000 gain over what they are now. Now, we won't pass Elgin because they started out way ahead of us. Right. But Elgin Township and Dundee Township will be almost virtually the same amount of employment in each township. That's a tremendous gain, 23,000 jobs over the next, whatever that is, 15 years? And then the next one after that was Rutland with 13,000. So between Rutland and Dundee Townships, we'll have more new jobs than any other place in the entire county. And then Sugar Grove also had 13,000. But that's an exciting thing for our future. 2040, biggest job gain in the entire county. And I don't like to pound on it, but some of that is probably predicated on our having better transportation in 2040 than we do today to accommodate all these people. They may not all live here, but if they work here, they have to get back and forth to these jobs. So providing good transportation is a key for our future. And I think you already mentioned the Moose Lodge Rodeo, bike rodeo?
Yeah.
Okay. But we were just in a meeting before the board meeting with the Camber Bike Group. And Mike told us that the business, the outdoor business, REI, one of the biggest in the nation, $2 billion. They just gave the Camber Group $10,000 to work with for this year. And he's thinking that they may be able to renew that each year. That half of it will go into Raceway Woods and half will go into Keith Andres. And he and the guy who's doing most of the work in Keith Andres, or coordinating most of it, I guess you'd call him the construction manager, so to speak, both spoke in glowing terms about Carpentersville becoming one of the top biking destinations, not only in the state of Illinois, but in the entire region. With the work that's happening in Raceway Woods, where they're adding more and more miles. They're probably ended up getting up to 10 miles of bike paths in there. They're going to add 2 to 3 miles to,
They got approval from the county for 2 to
Well-
add on, and then they're hoping to get another 2 to 3 more with a vision of up to 10.
right.
But the
And then-
$5,000 that they're using is, the county has come to them and said, we never expected this to explode the way it has. And on 31, when you go by on a weekend, you can't get a parking space. And I think the other entranceway is too. So they are going to do, I think he said bathrooms and something else this year the county is committed to. And next year, with Camber's $5,000, they're going to expand the parking lot for them because of the traffic. And
It
that's,
can get a little hairy over there on
Yeah.
Route 31, because I drive that way a lot.
yeah.
You know, because I go up to Miller Road and then over to my house.
yeah.
You do have to be a little bit careful, and it's right at that section of the road that comes from like 50 down to 35.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, I'd encourage everybody just to be a little more cautious in that area.
Yeah, but he mentioned, as Ed's saying, that they're coming from out of state now, so,
To come,
yeah.
they're coming from, mostly from the region for Raceway, but they're coming from other states to come to Keith Andres. And the plan now is for downhill trails, not necessarily the jumps and all that, but now to complete trails where people can ride downhill and kind of swerve and curl and go around curves, and then they go to the bottom, and then they take a road around, and then they'll have 2 or 3 more downhill trails now, in addition to all the jumps and everything else that they have there. And it was just glowing the way they talked about our future with biking, eventually connecting Keith Andres to the bike trail and connecting Raceway to the bike trail, so that we not only have trail biking, mountain biking, we've got the cross-country type biking. Carpentersville will become a center for biking in the state and in the region. So this is just an amazing thing that's happening kind of in secret over there at Raceway Woods. And we're going to have to, the board is going to have to get on top of this and try to find some ways that we can support it more, because there are a lot of things that have to happen. You can't do it all with volunteer labor. So this is just another thing that challenges the board to think how we can creatively keep this going. That's
And this
part
is-
of our rebranding has
It
got to
is.
include
Yeah.
the idea
It is
that we're
a
a
If I
biking
could
part of
capital.
jump in here too on that, Ed, Lake Marion's going to be critical for us to be able to hook up with that bike path.
It's all part of it, Paul.
You know,
Yeah.
we've been, and Pat and I have met with Jay Radke, who's the
Right.
chairman of their board over there, to talk about ways we can,
Yeah.
you know, try to help them out to get some funding to be able to connect Keith Andres Park with the bike trail. So, and then we got a part of our own after that once you get by Williams Road.
Yeah.
But I think we already own that land. So, but we're going to have to be a little visionary here to be able to get
Yeah.
that connection.
It really wasn't, it didn't come off as pipe dreams. They're seeing it out there. REI told them that their sales in Schaumburg are ticking up with people buying bikes, then they're coming out here, which of course I offered our empty Dominics, but you know. So,
Well, anyway,
but
just,
still,
just
it
one
was
good thing after
Yeah,
another.
it was,
You know,
yeah.
I hate to sound like the village cheerleader, but somebody has to be, and it's got to be the village board. We have got to let people know how good Carpentersville is becoming.
And
And there's
you did leave out one important point, though,
No,
just for the board needs to know.
Oh, okay.
The other $5,000, with this bike jam that they're going to be doing, and it would be great if we could be there, they are going to redo Sacramento. So they're going to be putting in a split rail fence, kind of an arbor that'll say Andres Park. And Mike had a really good point, because they talked about Kettle Moraine and that, because it's, right now, it just looks like a dirt hill from the road. This will create an entryway for people with a road to get in, and they'll have a kiosk there that'll have, and I thanked him for keeping the history of Keith Andres family with that park. Sometimes you get new stuff and they want to rename, but they're going to have his history, professional trail maps, and then opportunities for flyers for community events, their events on the kiosk. They're going to try and have this done by the Spring Bike Jam. They offered on Camber's expense to fly in Keith Andre's sister. They're going to rededicate the park in the morning to them. She was not able to make it, but there's an uncle and a nephew that lives here in town. They'll be there. So they'll be rededicating the park to Keith Andre's on that day, and hopefully they're working on landscaping. So that's really going to be a nice entryway, and it's one of 3 that they envision into that park. But that'll be a nice start and coming up pretty soon. So really nice. So.
And just one more small thing that's happening. June 22nd at 7:30 in the morning, Walmart has their ribbon cutting. Just one of those little things that's happening in Carpentersville.
The 23rd.
Anyway.
Yeah, so did I. 23rd.
They changed it to the 22nd.
22nd.
Okay. Oh,
I
okay.
told them I wanted it on my birthday, and they said, no way. So they moved it back to the 22nd. Anyway, that would conclude our trustee reports. We need to have a closed session. We have a number of items. We have 2C2, 2C5, 2C6, 2C11, and Mark tells me personnel as well, which I don't have the number for. 2C1. So we have 2C1, 2C2, 2C5, 2C6, 2C11, and I need a motion to go to closed session.
A motion to adjourn to closed
Motion
session.
Ginger, second Don. Terry, call the roll on that.
Trustee Sabi,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
Trustee Burroway, Trustee Stevens,
Yes.
Trustee Humphrey.
Yes.
Move to closed session.